Dedo Nakasie enyuma kobi adaroma en wo mobo ye kukruba siemfa ensam no emasomo srakwa minwa water ensukroje enti ensue onidin ene ne honam esse se kwaterekwa wosi wobema wo ade a ntuma ya tie ne din unse we no de wono wotumra no akyeresie enti sira kwade se wo ti ne din kura na sedia akwa enti bomode a na epebinum na bibia timi koyi emfamma ho na nsam no de dɔɔso pa ena ya ogefo bosome ni da edika wo mfiempim yenu ene aduonum yenu mu de na nsam no ni etwagu no dɔɔso papa enunti ni aboaboa no ewo my Ghana empatem ena ama wodo so yato di se Nsroma KASE ye dedew na KASE ni ye obatie no ebi ense
96.3 FM 96.3 FM Nsroma bia
Omambayi dada John Evans Atamils enen kaye dum ene niema wo ye ede ema wo man no na je se enipa wo ya ade a wo sa ye wa nyina yeso a insane dey eti ene no wo mo pa wontuma e wo University of Ghana suapo kase wo enkramantem na omampanyi dada John Dramani Mahama ye se wo ne papa ya ye adwuma pa wo de nsem bi atu eja ensemben Ghana enso so ye ne Rwanda akọ entiasia pam sade be ya dwadie mapa ebetimi akoso na ede enema ho nkomo ene entiasia pam ena wo mo asan ebeboa amasa aginesie no etimi akoso wonsan from so COVID-19 wonsansam no ene ayedeja na ayedeja no eno no na apomden empanifo kyeremu a wo mo bomode a se wo mu ebetimi atete omanfo esanse ukokopiem wo mantem bia ase COVID-19 ndro no abo mo so ana aye wo mo ka apiatse ehwo so yerekwa kopiem ho wato yemantem wona empanifo de atu edwa sei wo mate abedwokuo no eba na eniema awodo ene ne ekoso nyina no wo matimi abehwe na afi so abedwokuo behwe mansiesie etimi akoso ewo ho no mo yebebo ewremu nsamfofo mu a na panimu bia yeba nhwehwemu ene nimdie pa wo my Ghana mu a wo de nsem bi atu edwa na wo de nsem atu edwa ni nyina ne sei wo se abantugu a ekoso so ewo ebibiom atoye no eye asem a ha adwiye pa efo sempanifo peninu yagubre na ensafofro mu so de yebekwa akopiem wo adwadie KASE mu na ehon so ene yi levi no entenkoda ye eda so gina ne na asobie a akoye ensempi na yebekọ na ensem mu so wo enigidie KASE mu no ehon akwabena wo sei ememme eye wo sem bo mode papa na mo bo modin dia eya munsua se ne yesi pachew a munim chawpa enti ene wo nsem no na ene me kai me bi tia wo mo sere ai munim chawpa wo enti wo nsem no na ni nyina mu so ye be kore kwa kopiem wo amnoni ensem Ukraine eho enyoye enti empanifo de nsem atu eja de afa ho ensensem no ye be wura agodie KASE mu ene Ghana ni abrantie bi wabuna kete mu a ene woko akwakopiem wo tim bia na dede ayu obo match wo ho no tim bai ehun nsem nyina ye ba besomo mofena ya chumwa me mo nyina ajo emamo akwa ba me dane me homra
96.3 FM.
Yamamu akwa bayensha ensem no ase na kaise KASE no ubetimi ajoin en ewo ene Facebook abefo ntentam yeso jojem 96.3 FM na bibia timi akonkai ede amount. Yesha nsem no se yesha se Free University of Ghana ewo ene ye se dwumadi ekoso ewo city conference na je se city conference no enkramantem wo se suaponi mu eho ene ekọ na kwa ekoso enyina na asenti eda so was the man John Evans at a Mills 10 years on na je se emfie dunie ena omampanyi dada John Evans at a Mills ene fente fifi mes no woda ne benkum so ya emfie dunie no na esi edru amanfo so a na yaka yanom na eye bena debi pa seye na ebena da no kita won sabo so me de to so aduonu nan wo emfie mpem yenu eni edumienu mu ena saare wo semi esi ye na kwada ni brichie se ene ye mampanyi dada a ye friend John Evans at a Milsa chese NDC amanyoko no National Democratic Congress na woda wonoma no na wotu franka edi enkunim edema amanyoko no na papa yi wo no ekofa nsem bebre ebaye ye ka papa ya asumdue dia a na wo ka eyi na sinchen eno nti emfie du achie no ede be ne yebetimi dia ye enkaye dum ede akai papa yi esanse yedru amanfo so ane akai ya no nti no enne na je se NDC amanyoko no wo mo abotwatada wo University of Ghana suaponi emu wonkrawa wo mo so adwen ato adwen efa papa no ne modern bo ene ni mpuntu a wo ye na ni nyina emu no ene se enkaye dum no wo mo kire sei papa no ne dwumadi a wo ye no ede mfasodie bebrei ebai na papa no so no wo ye nipa bi a wo ka nipa nyina ebomu emfa wo ene amanyoko a wo mu ene wo ye nipa bi so a na wo gye kontokro dwumadi etumu kabi mamen kabi na wo gye tumu wo ye nipa bi a wo de ne si ade we so a eno an wo ye wo ye nipa so a ade bi a wo ye no wo mafan ye ne pepepe ye etimi koso wo manwunumu etimi koso wono de da bia na sema wo kana amazem paasumji enti papai amazem paasumji eno ene se embenifo akọ na wo mi no kasa se sia ne de wo mo ho a wo mo hye safai na no na omampanyi dada John Dramani Mahama na wono ye abediechiwe edema papai a echire wono so eba be ye mampanyi wono de nsem bi atu eja na ese gonja de hye esemu se ejata no na wo chiremu a ye ka o Professor Evans at a Milsa ebade mfa ne kra ensie ye papa ne ye nipa bi asere medical aka na nwa bakosem no na ese wo pa asumdwe wo ye asumdwe ra enkunimdi hine pa a wo bo adwumason ewo oman Ghana mu no na enam sei na wo bre no nwase na wo ye nipa bi so a wotimi kira de ewo suapo akese mu be se mfihia duonu no 25 years no na wo so oman Ghana enyo oman Ghana nko bibre mu a ewiase nyina ebo modern ehu sei papa no de sapa bi etimi ato na wono no wotiwei wo so oman Ghana esikasem na wotimi ema ni nyini ya yemfo bia entimi entoto ne ho.
26 to inspire humanity for a better society, a virtue that President Atta Mills lived and died for. Professor John Evans Atta Mills simply was a good man. It therefore gladdens the hearts of many millions of people who loved him that this decision was taken to launch the Atta Mills heritage here on the campus of our alma mater, the University of Ghana. This is because it was right here on these very hallowed university grounds, the hill of knowledge and the nation's hope and glory, where we are taught to proceed in integrity and truth, that Professor John Evans Atta Mills honed his distinct values and also laid the foundation for the ultimate mantle of leadership that God placed on him in the latter stages of his life. He earned his enviable reputation on this very campus even before his call to higher office. Professor Mills left a lasting legacy here on this campus through his teaching, his mentoring, rigorous intellectual endeavor, and physical activity through sports. As a matter of course, Prof became an organic part of this university's history, lived by the ethos of integrity that the university advocates when he eventually entered national politics as vice president and ultimately as president of the Republic of Ghana. These values never deserted him. Unfortunately, this philosopher king and servant leader of a president did not live with us as long as we would have wished. On that dull and hazy, overcast day of 24th July 2012, death unexpectedly snatched him from us. leaving a shocked nation in sorrow, anguish, and in tears. And my following reminiscences are the first time I'm talking publicly of this sad event. That fateful day, I'd been alerted that I'll be asked to act because Prof was likely to travel to Nigeria. I was informed by his secretary, Sir James Bebaku-Mensah, that he had requested specifically that I stand in for him at the official launch of the Brand Ghana project, which was to take place at the International Conference Center. I attended that function with the Chief of Staff, Mr. John Martin Newman. Upon our return to the castle, which at that time was still then the seat of government, as I proceeded to my office, I asked Chief of Staff Martin Newman to inform Prof that I was going to cross over and see him to discuss a few important issues after meeting with a former president who was waiting in my office. Moments after our return, the Chief of Staff called me frantically and said that Prof had been rushed to the 37 Military Hospital in an emergency. I wrapped up my meeting with the former president and prepared my staff to rush to the hospital. It was then that Sir James Bebaku-Mensah entered my office and delivered the devastating news. Prof dead. How? How can Prof die? Were the questions I asked. The world came to a standstill. Nothing in my political life and experience had prepared me for a moment like this. The shelter of working under Prof had been a wonderful experience. His death left me in trepidation of stepping up to the plate, realizing the huge responsibility one was stepping into, and that the buck was going to stop with me and no one else. The swearing-in ceremony was a blur, and I struggled to complete my acceptance speech without breaking down in front of a sorrowful nation. When I left the podium, I missed my way back. I went and sat back in my vice presidential seat until the uproar from the MPs reminded me that I had sworn the presidential oath and should move to the ceremonial presidential seat. The rest is history to be narrated at another appropriate time. This was my boss, my comrade, my mentor, and my friend. He was tolerant, he was kind, he was fair, but he was firm. I'm proud to have honed my political skills at his feet. I know there are many also who revere Professor Mills as their teacher and their mentor. He taught in this university for over 25 years and contributed to producing many astute legal practitioners from the Faculty of Law, and also contributed in producing many fine business minds from the then School of Administration, which is now the University of Ghana Business School. Our gathering here today to celebrate once again a man who sacrificed his very life from humanity for academia, for his country, and above all, for his God, for Jesus Christ, is proper and befitting. I believe the launch of the Atta Mills heritage, which is anchored on his values and principles and is aimed at inspiring humanity, including the youth of Africa and Ghana, for a better society, will further emphasize his legacy. Already, Prof's name is befittingly assigned to a significant number of national infrastructure across the country. These include the John Evans Atta Mills High Street in Accra, the FPSO John Evans Atta Mills, which extracts oil from the 10 fields, which are both named after him. Similarly, the Community Day Senior High School in his home area, Otium, which happens to have been the first of the E-Block initiatives to be completed, which I had the privilege as president to have commissioned and named after him. Here at the University of Ghana, the School of Law's modern building is named after both Professor Ikwe Akunyehin and Professor Atta Mills in appreciation of their collaborative efforts in the construction of the edifice and their remarkable contribution to the teaching of law in Ghana. While I was serving as Prof's vice president and as head of his economic management team, President Mills grew Ghana's economy to a level that remains unprecedented. Borrowing his own words, in 2011, that year Ghana's economy grew by over 14%, the highest in the world, with both non-oil and oil growth contributing equitably to this feat.
96.3 FM, Nsroma.
Nsroma enti Ghana mampanyi dada esemu sejata gonja de shekonkron na ise John Dramani Mahama ena wote say wono wode ensema wodo etudwa na wodi adanse edefa Professor Evan John Atta Mills Amazo mepasumje na wokai papai ehwo na ise abra wokọ omemra shebedwefie na oman ne tebia no woko kenkai no ehwo techrema empro wo de yinko tie ni kakramra
economy is resilient. Madam Speaker, when you are pronouncing such figures in billions, and I want to remind you that I didn't even know how to translate them into
There is this thing going around that you are working towards the removal of the Chief Justice. How true is that rumor, and do you have any such intention to work for the removal of the Chief Justice? Thank you.
Please stay where you are. Look at my face very carefully. Listen to my voice. Do I look and sound like a cat hunter?
Any Professor Evans at Mills, 18 will be so be say, Cremani, Miss Obia, Mikukra, and I said, yea, it's any worse than no, not a chamadia and papa no, or baby pa, Eddie, a more minor, wash, ni pursue, and any buy any media would dear noir, or my Ghana. Obekonko ne pa na yenhwe ne waba kosem kakra bi esanse omampanyi dada John Dramani Mahamud bebre na atodwa papa yi eye fenten fifi milsa woye ne be ekro no yewo no ewo kita won sabo so me ne ne toso aduonu baako ewo enfiem afi apem anko ne aduanan ennan ewo takwa na iso my Ghana mu atakwa ewo ene ewo papa yi na ni nyina no Nese 21st July 1944 ena papa yi yetimi wo no na ene yetie coincident bi nyesa anwo asem esi ye eno so wo wuya kita wo sabo sumi mu ne da na etoso aduonu nan wo enfiem pem yenu ene dum yenu mu July 24 2012 ene ese wo wuye nese onya mfihia aduosia enwoche ena papa no wotimi fa mu a woto anananom ewo ensie do obeye omampanyi ewo enfiem pem yenu ne enkono ebra omampanyi kofo ene ese woni ne kokko gina ya womo epreye na ekoko wie ase no na ese wonu wotimi edi enkonim enti oji akonwa no edi free MPP sem oma ono mampanyi kofo ene di koko si eni na obaaye no obebo adwuma pa ebeye mampanyi abedi eche afi apem anko ne ediokono enso ebesi emfiempem yenu ne baako 1997 to 2001 ene so beye mampanyi abedi eche odidi mu a ene emfiempem yenu ne nkono besi emfiempem yenu ne dum yenu a wode to anananom wonse do no wotimi ebeye omampanyi na ese NDC amanyuko National Democratic Congress eho ena no wodi ni dwuma amanyuko a na nakoma eda so eno nti no yo omampanyi emo eno no na papa yi wo hye eniema wodo a waye pa wo memu dia o wabomode pa na wo hye emrakunyini ewo University of Ghana wo bomode esua woma afi apem anko ne aduosia enso ena afi okomode ekoko PM ewo School of Economics and Political Science eno so afi apem anko ne aduosia enwoche ewo London English abrochimemu wo free wono so wo bomode a ewo London wona wo koko PM osuapon Oriental and African Studies ewo so eno kwaji ni PhD a eno so afi apem anko ne eduoso baako 1971 eno no eno obo moden wo wieye no ene se eto ogegye eni sikasem entotoye no so wonya animdie ewo ho taxation and economic development eno so obo moden efiri wono eno obepiem wo my Ghana eni esuapon Ghana University of Ghana eho so wotimi koye ekokọ kire adea bese emfihia aduonum 25 years a eno obo moden edede da abedwoku awodo so eni empanifo titiw no na ese papa no de wo bo moden a ekoko piepie mu se professor kodidi djuma wa America memu Netherlands eni emiemi awodo na ese afi wo show my Ghana yamamra no mu nsachiraye eni mu dwumedie afi apem ahanko ni edioso enso Taxation Review Commission eno so no odi mu akotene ewo mu bi na papa yi so no wo bo moden esom my Ghana yie pa na wo hye my Ghana mu a afi apem ahanko ni ediowoche enwoche 1988 no na wo ye acting commissioner e de Ghana Internal Revenue Services ena afi so afi apem ahanko ni ediokonomi ensa obaba ye substantive commissioner na se opapa yi wo bo moden ene omampanyi dada John Rollins so rade awurade emfa ne kra ensie ye ebe ye ne running mate a eno endi samoyokom no afi apem anko ne aduokunu ensia 1996 no wo mutibi di nkunima obeye mampanyi abedi achiwe enti papa no wabo adwumaso pa na de amoman no enti afi apem anko ne aduokunu enso na eso pepon bosome da etoso enso ene ese papa no wotimi ababeye mampanyi abedi achire ekosi emfiem pemienu ne baako a wono so bo moden ejina ede ma NDC amnyoko na ene so wotimi eye ya efe wani nkunima ene o mampanyi kofo na ono so gina mu de MPP amnyoko no wodi nkunima wono so betena so eti o mampanyi kofo free so emfiem pemienu ene woche no emua ena papa yi wotimi konkode a wotimi ebabeye Ghana mampanyini enti wo hwe papa no a woni o mampanyi na na danko akufo ade so dikosi ani ema ekowi ase no na yese wo mu edi nkunimu anisa enti papa ne de ye ka dwumadi a wadi ama man Ghana no a ekoyie ne ye kase ye ka no abakosema ene ade ebeche na atimi asayen enti wo hwe papa ne de a na yese osafata se enne ne nyuma pa a wadi no ye kan no na techere man pronti no wo de yenko ahoma ne so obi si ye kai no Professor Mills ase ne refi ni kakra enti yenko na Professor Evans Atamils yenko na yenko nkotie ne kakra bi ne ma se amaze mapasumji our economy ekom enemi chese ene na enti ho no se papa no ebe ye din a na ye de frɛ no yentie kakra.
It's right to make policies, take initiatives, or make statements that reflect his societal norms and ideals. But he does not have the right to direct other sovereign nations as to what they should do, especially where their societal norms and ideals are different from those which exist in Prime Minister Karam's society. I, as president of this nation, will never initiate or support any attempts to legalize homosexuality in Ghana. As a government, we will abide by the principles enshrined in our constitution, which constitution is supreme. Let me also say that whilst we acknowledge all the financial assistance and all the aid which has been given to us by our development partners, we will not accept any aid with strings attached if that aid will not inure to our...
Enti papa no wonu wadada kamne mu kwese wo be wu kura no wonu wose gay lesbian ne ho sensem no wunia wo fa wonu sika de be sore afira amano ne wona aso ya se de kwa agya yehwe enti gay na ye na chiwade enti ye ho nsem no ene se papa yi John Evans Fifi Atamils papa dem refer due erade onfa okra ensie eyie
we dia no ode o Jojam FM ya shembe bia
Yashwemba bia yentoa ensem no so nkopiem wo apomdin semu na flamontem mo ewo ne yekọ na apomdin empanifo Ghana Health Service na echem sei sese ne de wo munim se flamontem no adwen na yo montanto se ye nipa boni semu se ye som awoduo wo se COVID-19 ye ba ye nipa ebufa so kopa ne aduro ya enne abaya bomode enuro no wanya abegu wei na enso ne wode ene abo mo so anaye o mo ka ye si nipa kura e wo ho no wo mu nchebu be se aduo no kura no wo mu ntibi enwo pane no ene ye ho no na mpane ni nuro no wo mo kofa begu wo a se eseye ya wo mo kokotu gu kwa enti na so mabo aban ne ka ene nanam so emma panyi kwanchefo aflomantem apomden asoye woda ano mo no na wo hwe enkitawudie nsem so ede ma omo onumunyamfo senanu kwasi jokoto wode atu edwasei se wo ba from antem a asemi chese nkrofo bebre ebi ye nananom atena nkonwa ebi ye esom awodo mpanifo ebi ye apomde mpanifo ebi ye obo ade bobremu nimdie hwehwemufo ebi susu ye nwomasuafo ene wo mo nko suku kura soso bebre ene se wo mo enti bibia se enti wo mo bomode asei wo metimi abodawura efri china ekokosi se ojefo bosome de toso ensia ebetimi akoso na wo nim sei hwiebe de wo no echi no enipa betimi abomode edo mo abeje empane ewonimu
5% of the entire population fully vaccinated. We've had regions doing close to half their population taking a single dose. But when you come to the Volta region, the story is very different. For every 100 people that you see, only 9 people are fully vaccinated. Misinformation went ahead of us, and a lot of people believed it. Events of the past few weeks have shown that we all can be victims of false information or fake news. Be you respectfully a traditional or religious leader, be you a scientist or a health worker, be you educated or not. Unfortunately, some people have been influenced by wrong information to kick against one of the most effective measures to save lives during this pandemic. So the purpose of the vaccination is to ensure that we get wider coverage within a short period of time. Because of our peculiar circumstances in the Volta region, we began Friday on the 28th of January 2022, but we will continue enjoying the national campaign, which officially begins on the 2nd of February and would run till the 6th of February. So by the time we are done, 20% of the people who are not vaccinated in the region so far should be vaccinated. So that is going to amount to between 150,000 to 200,000.
Enti onimonyamfo senanu kwasi jokoto wono ena apomden asoye wo my Ghana ne fa e wo from antemu no wo ye panyi kwanchefo a enkitawudie woda ano na wode ensem atu eja no yemfri from antemu ne mepiem won kramantemu bio ye bepie wode a na Center for Democratic Development ni nyina CDD for en wo mu chem say enema nkoyie ne enema nkoyie ni nyina ejina say oman no ya hye so no empenifo betimi ayire bambo mu na anye saade a ene abonefo sembeko so adoso wo memu na nsabo nyina no orapo na na kwabena Abraham Pamensa wono ene hye dwumedie awodo so edema CDD Ghana.
There's a bit of optimism. Improvement back across, but still challenges. So improvement never say in baseline on in Kitahweda residents or more border communities, any security agency more Nenya Papa, that's in Tawantawa Kakra, or more share information, BB2 Mukra, BB Munka, but in second report, I improve Kakra. Now citizens no 48% of first reports and more about terrorism, violent extremism, cross border crime, no munim. By we report I increase 68% of my awareness level na kostropa ubisa bibia betimi crime activity which me catch row bibia betimi constitute terrorist act which me catch row awareness na kostro but you who settle there are challenges of cross border crimes. I am example say we call Kulungugu a obi ewia ammunitions and go dey cross or dey achako mu my action no obi reported from one of the border communities say still you mofra edum child labor in cocoa farms and so you won't traffic from Ghana to neighboring countries and so on. So even though awareness raising a cost, there are still small cross-border crimes that air cost. If you say it need the attention of the security agencies, because especially the ACC in neighboring countries, Burkina Faso, for instance, most of the citizens from Burkina Faso are running for safe Ghana and here for neighbor. Citizens in Kwan and I will infiltrators Sankrofo woman. In the honey increase education, said by a taxi driver now pick you be over share ye who near me crano. We hotelier, no be high hoteler, Boshe who nip on background. We a motor rider, special motor form, two motor cofa near Baha, a dear Yaman our day band, as increase education, no, laying a die home. So yes, I've got some Pimisika, there's no factory for and I'll be good gun on behind. See, the report no highlights here, no. There's hope because citizens agencies no stay, Muntam no yet fine, but there are also crimes, I say.
enti owura Paul Nana Kwabena Abrampamensa wono programs manager ma CDD Ghana ena wote ni no yemfree enkramantem kopie mu atoyemantem mu na arewosem a nyanya ni breach kase ebo ye wo my Ghana titu atoyemantem na eka o my Ghana ni nyina say breach kase pa ne boy ye asem a yaka ho asem a na se na wotwemienu mu a ene okirewuko ya wo ya eno no nsem no ene ese ni de enam so ama apiatefo womo akwakoda ne etukotenafo a ebi akotenetena baabi na wote se anopa no adehie bi eche se bra totopo aye no etoto saa no ebi adan esese ebi nsuso adan ene ebi hu epaapa ya enye omu nyina adan ne bubu ye na eduru se wo mu si a wo mu omani ensem se wani semu a yani enyawo etu omani samu a eno mbehu wo mu dwumadie no se de ne manyina etimi ekro eno nam so ama asoya ehye ensase enimu adodode ho nsem so wo mu abedi echiwe nese onmunyamfo George Myokuduka wose wo mu abomoden etimi ati abedwoku a wo mu ye enhwemu na saa enhwemu no wo mu ebeba na enhwemu no ne efiri mu efi ye nyina no afi kwayom betimi afaso na wo matimi ati abedwoku fofra wo mehwe ama adansie ene niema awodo ni nyina no wo matimi ahwe ni siesie ene dwumedie nyina so ewo apiate wo no wo matimi aye wo se sese ne de asoye no wo mu bomodin a se de ebeya emra awodo no wo mbetimi ahwe na de wo mu nisuo titi wo mu tufo agudie no wo mu ahwe mu kena wo mu mpapa yabo emra wo mu nisuo nyina no wo mbetimi ahwe na wo mu etimi ediso ne wato ne mra to atwe no wo mu ebehwe na wo masa amana kwa akofa na ne empo no emra no ne ago jogojo anase mu aya ha nyina no wo mu etimi emiemiemu amana etimi egina na so nti hwiebe ya wade edi enim de ensachire foforo eni eginasie no mu de nyina ebetudwa
do our investigations as submitted. So it's something nobody I'm worried because happen traditionally jurisdiction. If you say person, I'm worried. Make sure the truth is said. But the committee will come up with the solution. Minister, probably by Thursday we'll set up a reconstruction committee on Thursday. Apiate Reconstruction Committee, of which he even said during the presentation of the report. So the committee will deal with all that. We see those things in the mining company wants to resettle a community. You see some of these speculators who will come around, and say, yes, here is mine, this, and so on and so on. So we'll deal with all that when the committee is set up. So we should calm down. Things are being worked on. Believe at the appropriate time details of the report. Committee's recommendation to be implemented by the ministry once we've received. The Inspectorate Division of the Minerals Commission, we've been going around making sure that things, we close all knobs and all gaps and all dots are connected and so on. So we've been doing our bits with you. And I believe we have a very comprehensive minerals and mining regulations. 2 and LI2, we have a very robust regulations. But, time gives and technology gives some sort of room for some of these regulations to be upgraded. And why not? Very soon, Minister may, out of recommendations made in the report, constitute a comprehensive kind of arrangement to do a thorough research how to have a composite regulation that will encompass. So it is not something that just taken lightly. Secondly, I want to also put it on record that the ministry has been dealing with these mining companies with all the rules available. And for that matter, the regulation also empowers the Chief Inspector of Mines to be inspecting and making sure that they comply with the rules and regulations of mining industry. So it's not something we take lightly at all. And let me reassure you that we will take into consideration the recommendations of the report when
It's on when you for George Myokuduka, so for Abedi children and Sase, any more out of the young some so now what's in canon yen found cropiamu a 50 man temu, nurse a sin not may cinema, and 1 year copy, near quite a sin not there. A buying and I say, and Rashamania or Honomo, a unmunyan for Jachiquason, now unmunyan for James Jachiquasini, and I know about a some, and what my gun and move a few million near you know about. a ebeye ho se papa no wo so oman Ghana mu a yamamra no ene wo mo echire mu ane se amamra no makwan sei wo ye onipa bi a wo firi Ghana ha na wo sa wo krata afoforo e wo man foforo so a wutibi ba begina se ento so aba na predibire e wo ha agye se wugya ba ko emuto wo ansana watibi aba be predibire enti papa no no ye nipa bi a wo firi Ghana ha e se asin mind hye eno no na eno no ena papa yi esai eti Canada memu enti wo Canada ni en wo sai eye Ghana ni enti ekoba ye no na se ebra wo se wo jai Canada di bra no eto no wo entibi amfa nyai en wo ba ya ye to no so aba de kokko wi ase na se court won sensem ala betodwa asemi be ye e wo my Ghana mu enam so ema Cape Coast High Court etina se ebua asem no se papa no ye gidi tubu se emrahye bedwe ni a enye yie eno no nam so ma ensem no be ye ekokko wi ase no na ene Supreme Court eho ene onmunyamfo gyachekwa isi no so ko ye se wote ase a enye yie nto so beko appeal yes asem no be ye honyan wo my Ghana mu neno no na emra wo mu gina so ne se court ni ncheche mu e wo Ghana ya mamra no eye efa ye aduanan enkono ne nkata so eye mienu no ne efa edikan no eho wo mu ncheche mu wo afi apem ankono ene ediokono mienu 1992 Constitution Article 94 clause 2A ho eho en wo mu ejina enti ekoba asa no na wo se wo mo bomodia se de be ya wo mo edi ensimfo akwa akoma papa yi e wo mrahye bedwefie nenu no ene wo mo bo omodia ene papa yi wo koso afrem so aye na wo ba begina ye se mrahye bedwani no enkrofo nkai ne sei wo no nya mrahye bedwani wo so ye mrahye bedwani asem ye ba beda ne mansotwe ene da arura ne papa yi wo soro te mrahye bedwamu enti ene wo mo ko ye se nkaja wo mo bo omodia na nka asem no makwa kwotena so wo mo wo ye asem no anhye da amaka ni nyina ne sei empanifuo kiremu a ebra wo mo registrar ene Supreme Court registrar onmunyamfo Matthew Antiaye wo bo omoden rochieche nsem no wo se wo bo omoden eto anamo mienu se be yanka papa yi wo benya no na wo de krata amano ewo sa aginesie no na enso akwa na se adanko da adadwe nya de ohu papa no ni nyina ye sei wo di ka koy wo papa mo so me da ne to so aduonu woche e wo mfie mpim mienu ne aduonu mienu a na ye edwoada ebra okoye no ene wo si wo bo omode wo si efiada mom na se opapa mo so me da to so aduonu woche wo mfie mpim mienu ne aduonu mienu no na ye edwoada efiada no wokoi nenso wokoye no wehu no ene dwoada nso so eye enre ya asoso no wokoye wehu no wodi ka koye no ene wo bo modern say wodi krata no ebekwa akoma emrahye bedwam churuchuru ni wo so wokoye no ene wo ka che ne say wono de wogi krata na enye yie eti omomode a se de be ye wodi kwa akoma emrahye bedwam chiamehene na ebra wokoye no emrahye bedwam chiamehene nso so eka che ne say wono so wogi a enye yie eye Haruna Nelson wono ka che ne say wogi a enye yie eninti na esa akoda ni nchi no aso na no no onumunyamfo a oye aban kwa adubofo Godfred yebo adami kirem sen na ni kwankra sen wo mutimi de asem no ekokofa mrahye bedwam wo mu nchiri se kontokro anamfa krata no kocha ne nsem sen kontokro ansan watimi aba na ene wababa be cheche ensem ni mu enti na ni kwa so omkra de man sen wo mfa mrahye bedwam wo mu fa nkomwa ne se kontokro ndi se no asem no wo mu etimi etu abone benya wo mu nim da wo mu esai akọ kosi se ombade krata ekwa papa no mafre asem no asakopie mu wo court biem
96.3 FM
Yashwe bia dia na Dr. Ansa Asante na wono ne panyi kwanche for Center for European Studies ewo University of Ghana hosu apon kese mu an odi ni djuma na papa na de nsem atu edwa ni nyina eye abantugu a akoso ewo ebibrem atoye amamiensa emu Mali, Guinea na Burkina Faso de edi kan kra wo de nsem atudwa a wo che sei asem a ha adwen pa
ademko ye oman ni petietia abang ni tietia nkrofo paudi won aka won kasabu ahye won aye kan kabi won ka obi nkabi a etese ECOWAS mpanimfo kan anim na wo fiase ne won wo kamera pentre won na wo sanje won na won nam sa wo tiase won na ekọ na eba ha hwe kodibu ne ekọ so wo ho nyina mpanimfo ne nam sa wo tiase aden asem ni amidi ECOWAS mpanimfo mi won ho ya pa na se wotumi tena se na parliament won a wodi nkom ai wote na no se head of state aye won adwene say wo be some constitution o man na mra ponga o kire wo say wo first term second term wo bi wo no den bebre no no nga betu agu third term agenda na parliament na asesa na fe wo adan wo hu bibisi a o se hwe say kuaba na ho niama wo ne faraba na ko wa jimpanimpo wo yani hadodo meka na pe wo die na asem ni aden na muntumi enka mumpanimpo anim na mo ya mo be some constitution na wo sesa na ba na no nkire say ye kan santi soja fo mrem ne be ye den na ye be si soja fo ho kwan wo san se bu you fi asem wo ka professor Mel international politics we ya wo kire wo si you fi asem wo na mmom asem bi ekoso wo fi se wa ama obi anka bi anan anka bi a ne jinsema e be kan ye nyina mema wo mfato ho Liberia otu ogbo mu o nsunsanso ye den Liberia fo betro men ko budumbura edu be bi kura wo yi wo ngafi wa amwa ko nkunkura ya ne aye ya ye be didi wo men mu a e se won so wo didi ne aye ya e se ye tena ha na won so wo nya be bi tena sansem ni nyina ye tibeni enunti obi ani wa ohwe ha se o wo de aye wo man wo na wo udi so nti ye ne awopɛ dabi ye ne awopɛ ni wo esa ne se ebe kan bi ebe kam ene wo friend ebe kani ebe kam nti na wo ya mekasa enunti ni ama mu mpanimfo se munni ko wa se ni ni me bi ko so ya animanimu ya no munti ana mo mpa na mo pa won enzo na mo medu ba bi a I want to be fair to ECOWAS leaders nzo wo tumi kasa kire wo moden wante wo de won aso aye wo men wo be kan bibia na mom se ECOWAS mpanimfo pese wo ya wo bituma ene den wo ne kan wo den no ntia fa bra bonten so wo ti ase wo se wo pu ti wi mmadu a wo ma otifu a dom yi obi a be yi
96.3 FM Nsroma bia
enti Nsroma bia ne Nsroma bia ne de na je se prof ene de ensem atu dwa no se oye nipa bi a wodi akotene pa na papa yi de woye nipa bi a asem efa amanyosemu nani edi achiwe ni nyina ye Dr. Asante wono ene ye director for Center European Studies the University of Ghana wode ensem atu edwa wo hono no na yero ensefo from Accra High Court akọ asetena na High Court 2 wo mko asetena no dwemtire ne wotena egwamu eye Owura Rosemary Ba tosu wona de ensem atu edwa enne enkrofo makomako edumienu a womode ntensa bo womo sebo sumia etwemu enam womo nsaso ene nima ene ma amobi enti emu woche ene amomu bi amienu aka no so no womo ehwe so mmemu bi na enwoche da ya amomu bi no eno so Ghana sika no empeba de woche ene ye de tu womu ti so na sika ye de tu womu ti so nipa ba ko bia no adansefo mienu so ebetimi aba bi di danse na womo ya amomu bi no Abdul Gafaru wono so eka won Ibrahim Moro Arias Jaro ena Afe Basam Abdul Mumuni Garba Mohammed Sabi Barinu Arias Name Bashiru ena Iliasu ena enkrofom kambi eye Isa Sedu eti yamomo asai krata sebe ya wo mudbede esupa afi na wotwe bia no so womdo won akokire aposifo ne fa ewo nima divisional headquarters wono womdo won akokire mu emprenu na womo a yede wo makwa se womo nko remand ye Aziz Sulemana dodo na friend Rambo ena Farouk Dawuda wono so dodo na friend Omoni enti ene meka Farouk tia wa bemenim ai enti ede wu name no na ni nyina eye sekwa adobofo cheche nsem ni mu nyina eye Chief Inspector Dennis Tekwete wono na echem sei sa nkrofo mienu we ni de wo mo ankasa no mu hwemu no entensa no ebubo wo mo enti entensa o mo de bo wo mo no na ese enne court no ko asetena no enipa makomako edumi yenu ni nyina no entensa ne bi nyina ne sei miensa eno mo de bo mo entensa miensa se wo mu edi abonefosem wo mu di etuo edi ani ensekan ne ma edi adencheche wo mu bo mo adwiri mu po se ampeniampa wo mbeye basabasa na wo mu kitekita etuo nani abrante ba akwa efe ne frempo oboaten eni ni nua Shaibu Abdulrazak wo mbebo wo mo ntreni ebe prepra wo mo no enu ni nti ene ye de asotwiwe ama wo mo nti wo mo ko remand ne de wo mo ba eno mbeto ma se ni yeso
96.3 FM Nsroma bia
yewemu wo edwade kasie mu omai Ghana ene Rwanda yakọ entiase apamo a eno ba beboa ama edwadie etimi akoso wo aman mienu yi entem eno nam so emasoafo a wo hye edwadie eni emfididwuma honsam so onimunyamfo Alan Kwadwo Chemate eno wo chese nani ajepa ewo aman mienu ntiase apamo a wo mo akoro no na ewiase de ye benkum dware nifa na nifa so so adware benkum enti adwadie enkabomuni ayonkofa wo mafa no ebeboa ama aman mienu empuntuo titi wo adwadiem no etimi akoso na asomdue so ebeka ho.
I'm confident that the seed that we are sowing today will eventually blossom in the very near future into a strong, mutually beneficial relationship between our two countries. The Memorandum of Understanding between Ghana and Rwanda is aimed at strengthening and developing trade ties between our two countries, as well as expanding and diversifying commercial exchanges among our private sector operators. Ghana and Rwanda have enjoyed very good fraternal relations for several decades. Indeed, Ghana was one of the few countries that contributed troops to Rwanda during the very difficult period in the history of Rwanda as part of the peacekeeping initiatives sponsored by the United Nations. In addition, both countries have played significant roles in shaping the agenda of the African Union over the years and have held common positions in various multilateral fora. The history of the African Continental Free Trade Area cannot be written without giving credit to the peoples and governments of both Ghana and Rwanda for the roles that we played in the establishment of this single continental market for Africa.
Enti onmonyan for Alan Kwadwo Chomate swafo wo hye emfidinwuma eni enwuma hodo se dwade eni fidinwuma hosem so ne na wote ye no na wo wie ye no ene se onmonyan for Catherine Afeku wono ene panyi kwanchefo a eba enkitawode ene ma National Coordination Office na se African Free Continental Trade Area no woda no wono so ene nsem etudwa efa aman mienu enti ase apama makon
hwe sa kro mienu na wotum se nibre wo mumu se ebibiman se ye ka ye ho bom ye di ye dwa no e de empuntuo ni adwuma ebeba ntenye krata bi keke so hwe kro mienu na wo mo hya ase se wo mutu sa na mo ache bebi wo nam so anomonam na de ne wo maye ene ma edimu se wo obi biton e wo Ghana ono so ne de broni best export readiness ebitumi ahwe ehihye pa after no de aba na wafa so ma nkro mienu no etumi edi wo mo ho edwa ede empuntuo sika ene adwuma ebeba bibime
enti ba mi Catherine Afeku one ye leader strategic communication National Coordination Office at the African Free Continental Trade Area na ese wote ni nka no na owie ye no onimonyanfo Biata Habi Arimana wono so soafo a wo hye enwuma eni emfididwuma hosam so wo Rwanda wono so ekire mu se o eye ne ni so pa se aman mienu wo matimi akomo abomu na enya aman bia kekese Rwanda ene o man Ghana na sa anamotoi ebeboa ama afoforo so etimi akomo abomu ama ebibremu ha empuntu
The signing of the MOU denotes the practical steps that will allow our private sector and citizens to realize the gains and benefits of the free trade area, to realize the gains and benefits of the brother countries. Our two great leaders, His Excellency Paul Kagame and His Excellency President Nana Akufo-Addo, have provided great direction on how to achieve this inter-African cooperation. It is therefore incumbent to us, we here in this room, to fast-track the economic links of our great sister countries. Allow me to say that this is not a conclusion but a beginning, and allow me to also appreciate the efforts we have through the Rwanda High Commission in Ghana and their counterparts at your esteemed ministries for the excellent diplomatic efforts made to get us to this stage today.
96.3 FM, Nsroma bia.
Nsroma bia enti Nsroma bia ne de na onmunyanfo Biata Habi Arimana wono ne soafo a wo hye enwuma ne mfididwuma hosam so Rwanda ena wote se enti asiapam a wo makono wode ensem etu edwa afa wono na enhwemu bi a eno so ene aba betodwa empanifo ede wo ma no atomu ebie kire sei saa enhwemu no na ese eku from se Afro Barometer wo mo kire a wo man Ghana enhwemu a wo mo aye no wo mutimi hu se sa enhwemu yi ene nyina eye se 11 no enkrofo bi enyi entum enyintum ena global info analytics wɔn so nhwemu aba enam so ama ene wɔmunyamfo musa dankwa wɔn na global info analytics wɔda ano no wɔn so kyerɛ mu a saa nhwemu a wɔn ɛyɛɛyɛ no wohwɛ MPP etitafo a wɔhom nkyɛmu aduonum ensia 56% wɔn yɛ nkrɔfo a wɔn tia sɛ E11 no ɛma ɛna ne NDC fo so wɔhom nkyɛmu aduowɔtwe ensia 86% wɔn so yɛ NDC fo etitafo a wɔn so tutia sɛ ɛne E11 no ɛma enti akwakɔyɛ ensem bebree na wɔn kyerɛ sɛ wɔn nhwehwɛmu no mpɛso amako aduasa nan ɛhɔ ɛna ɔmo hyɛ ase hwehwɛyɛ na nhwemu a ɔmo yɛyɛ no enipa bɛsɛ mpem 2 ahanan ne aduonum 2 ɛna sɛ ɔmo yɛ nhwemu ne fa ho a wɔn gu so eti wɔn kyerɛ sɛ sese ne deɛ ayere paa ɛwɔ E11 no ɛnsɛnsɛm no Yenra ensafoforo mu ana yeremu ewo agudie kasie mu no ehwo ena Black Stars defender ena Filemon Bafo sesie de Rovers under 23 ehwo ena wetimi akwakopia ena akane ehwo na yidede ayu nu obobo yo enti ehwo na abrantie Filemon woko na ena Portuguese Rovers yo se ho ahwan ehwo ena abrantie ekwakodi ni nkui na bibia timi akoso na wo hwe abrantie ya Ghana Premier League no ene Dreams FC ene miamia wodo no wadi enkunimpa asia kan wo pa ene eseri de Rovers under 23 side no woko no akosi akan ede ama wo mu na wo hwe abrantie no a ene under 20 man no wabo adwuma pa ede aboa Ghana Premier League amansesaye etimi ebe mu a enti wo hwe abrantie no modemba a ena aso eni na wo hwe abrantie no ebra na wonye mfihia aduonu a eno Black Satellite wotimi ebo modin di wo machi ema under 20 AFCON no 2021 mutimi ko gi kruwa no edi nkunim ede ba ye no a na ese abrantie ba afọ wadi nkunim aboa oman Ghana titu ewo agudie mu ensensem no mu enjese ne de Rovers wokọ no akosi akan ede amomo under 20
96.3 FM Yashreme bia
na kwabena oyonko amene ubokosu atafre high life musician NHS Ghana for meme binom we de want to anga se binom was Ghana for meme eya munsua se de esi patchew munsua se de esi patchew kan kyerema wo se wo ye bema na wo ne wo yire ana wo dofo bi ana wo ne wo ba bi kura ate na se wo fom wo ba no a eya na mema ase wo mo su kokoti so mo be patchew se bi a me yire ana se me maame ana me dofo ana me nue madam fuei me pa wo chew wo se saa niema ne de se mema anhwe na wo mo anhua de adabia no edi oyene enne waachewaachew enna eba wo se emranti aba ennim saa kakra etimu nhua enne ewunimu enne ewutiwe Farouk wunim se de esipa chewa hua chopa enne M square wutiwe se ntikra na ne emai makom diwe wunim chopa yes hua chopa enne mufta woni se me male so na enne se me maso no ka de wo sore kwa abonte enne mufta wotiwe wonim chopa nkenti wurafuo nyina wo bagyaru ne se ne de hunu a wafo aye se twomolanga so wonim chopa ka enti wosimu nsua chopa se de be ya bibia betima koso na enne Valentine concept a wo ba no se ehwonom en wo ba be ye ama akwanya ede aba na se National Theatre wonom no nyame ya aduma February 12 no wo bo mpaye se adwumadiem no obia bebo moden na enne wo dofo bia ne tie aware no anase mpratwe na aguo nyina no bla na enne ebesua chopa na munhyemu kena na bibia ntimi nkọ kama Yewie kase no amono ni ensem no Ukraine ewo enyoye na Ukraine de eya asem dada ene ewo ho no ma Ukraine ni Russia enchi no aso a ekoso no ha adwiye pa enam so ama aman mienu no mentemu ase ewo no ebi frua ene efri mu a ebi nso so enam so a wo mo eto ananam wonse do ebi nso so edwane firi wo manimu ede kọ amawodo so na saa enchi no aso de edi woye ne aba ase amanyofo wo mo so omo wase wo we de ne de enam ha na we de ne de enam ha na so omo sese niema na se omo ye niema ensem fatakwa wo ho enti mpanifo de ato omo nim se omo nhwe na asomdue papa entimi enkoso enya saade a ene entokwa emema no homne so no edi oye ne kese ebetimi aba asomdue omo hwe no entimi enkoso.
96.3 FM.
Yenina ensemi so kase ade besom wo jama de okrunsia echipo me nsa kasafidie so nyina no yemu ni kom se ejen ensem bebre ene etodwa na enwumako mo bo yechidom eyesa kwame no water jam renters wo mu nyina eka ho ebe aboafo no so wo mu echinchim fidie no mbo mi chidom Facebook ene Muftau wone Farouk wo mu ne dimu entintiman ena M Square wono so ete ha no no minim se wanyakọ efri o mampanyi wo wode ni se suna no ade se wonim sorry kanti obeye jano etie de ewurawafo mesre madama buja abrantie de ne nkonka enu obeyie etie de ho sem no na anafi anafi ba pa no tonso hima wono so edi akotene ewo mu bipa ena new screen nyina Letitia je nkoche ena afi kra no atakohia woman no nonsense ena agunadwa woni adaje commander in chief of the aguna market enti wono so eka ho ebia omu nyina aboa na mafuna ya twimwa menso mekenkai sem nyina ede maamo meso isu de na me amebra adomako ene sister ekua na se dodo na afre na ekua bema quarters 80 rasta mine no 80 rasta mine ba akopɛ a wono wo ye baba 80 enwumrei bebia wo hye bia no junior CEO se wo chia wo ena wo fa sare ene madam Grace mo so mo wo kona bantema enti wo fa sare ene madam Grace miame badam baako enwumrei bebia mo bia no ye chia mo nyina ye mo nyina se ema mo nyina monitia wo gye enyado
Jojem FM 96.3 Yashrem Bebia. Jojem FM 96.3 Yashrem Bebia. 96.3 FM.
Ensupade eno ane sira kwa mineral water efikuna abopapa ne mu babinum na sire mankwade a ubesire kwa atofo ne atifo mfren e wo 0540633395 anase 0502567335 sira kwa mineral water is life.
Shese wote sum na wonwuni awonye na impofre mu ahan bi ebo wo so sen ena ebeye wo enti na peace faith